Hi, everyone. Welcome to tonight's live Team Talk event. Uh, my name is Ashley Ribando, and I'm Marketing and Communications Director for Chris Kyle Frog Foundation. I'm here tonight with teammate Michelle Buhr. She's our program developer, so we'll be talking a little bit more with her. Thanks for joining us, Michelle.
Thrilled to be here. Thanks for having me.
So since we have all of you here with us now, we first want to thank you for being part of our online community. You guys are just completely amazing and fabulous. We see your posts, your comments, your messages. It really means a lot to our team, and we couldn't do this without you. So thank you again for your support. So Michelle, tell us about what you do in your role as program developer.
Well, mostly what I do is work behind the scenes. So I will go ahead and confess right up front that Facebook Live is a new thing for me. I'm a little nervous. And if you hear my voice quiver and you think, I wonder if she's nervous, the answer is yes, I am nervous. But I'm super passionate about this foundation and the work that it's doing. And I'm super passionate about the MYM program. So I'm here to talk about that.
Awesome. And I saw Corey just jumped in. Hey, Corey.
Hey, Corey.
If you saw us live last week, Corey Weathers did a fantastic job giving us an overview of our upcoming program, Mastering Your Marriage, which we'll talk a little bit more about. But Michelle, let's get a little bit more information about you. We have your bio posted in the feed description, but tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I'm a military spouse. I've been a military spouse for 18 years. And so like other military spouses who are watching, I've been kind of a pretzel fitting into wherever we moved. I've worked a lot in higher ed and nonprofit with organizations like Yale University, the University of Houston, the University of Alaska. So, I've made that background in nonprofit work, and now I'm supporting program development in the military community and the first responder community that I care so much about.
Great. Well, we're thrilled to have you. So, so let's get into a little bit about Mastering Your Marriage, which is our newest program. You've heard us talking about it a lot over the past few weeks. Michelle, what do you want our community to know about MYM?
So, y'all, it's going to be a new innovative program. We're super excited about it. It came about through a review of processes at CKFF. We're only 2.5 years old, but every single time a new program is launched, we launch it as a pilot. And then we launch that, we run through it, and then we step back and we review it. We have a roundtable to see, did we meet our objectives? Is there a way that we can add something new and make it stronger? And we also pull what we call our alumni. They're actually family members, our CKFF family.
I see a couple popping in.
Awesome.
Kylie.
Hey, y'all. So like to see friendly faces. Thanks for joining in. I could use the support because I was a little nervous. But so what we do is we review the program, and then we also survey our alumni to find out, what do you need? And that's where MYM came from. We were hearing from our couples that they loved the revitalization retreats. They love the date nights out. The Empowered Spouses Retreat is incredibly strong. And we feel so good about those program launches, but we were hearing and were being asked for even more. And so we started exploring and asking, with a background in higher ed, I knew that there were resources and teams and researchers and experts that we could partner with. Even though the foundation is still very young, we could partner with these experts and bring something new, bring something that's not being offered to the market to support these families. And so that's how it was born, was that review process and that feedback process.
Yeah, so Mastering Your Marriage is planned to be something that we can extend and create a ripple effect. Why don't you talk a little bit about that ripple effect?
Sure. So there's three different sort of ripples or layers of what we're looking at for Mastering Your Marriage. And, I just want to say, I see that some of our university partners are joining in. And I have to say, the curriculum they're designing, the expertise they're bringing to the table is, it's just humbling to see these universities, to see UT at Austin with Dr. Elisa Buhr leading that team, and the Garland School of Social Work at Baylor, to see that team assembled under Dean Singletary, to see the passion, the commitment, the care that they're bringing to the table to design the curriculum for this program is it's inspiring and humbling. So thanks for your support of it, and thanks for joining in at that. we're gonna directly affect couples by letting them participate in the program and by allowing them to go through the program and partnering with them for that. We're also going to expand that ripple. So first we'll help transform families through the programming. Then the ripple will get bigger because with working with schools of social work, we're actually going to be able to graduate culturally competent clinicians into the marketplace.
So by culturally competent, you describe what that means to a military or first responder couple.
Sure. Well, at its most basic level, it's truly understanding the culture and the customs of that community. But one of the things that we were hearing from our couples and in feedback loop is they would say, we actually are so committed to our marriage that we've gone for coaching or we've gone for counseling. And that left us actually feeling more isolated and alone because the counselor came up with recommendations that literally won't fit my law enforcement officer spouse's life. Being able to depend on them for a particular event or a date night out or something that, say, a counselor is recommending, that is just not something that's a reality for our service community marriages. They are on call all the time, and denying that reality doesn't help these couples. What helps these couples is giving them tactics and tools to manage that reality. And so we were hearing that sometimes counseling actually left couples feeling further apart, left them feeling hopeless instead of hopeful. And so the second layer of the ripple effect is we're going to be working with creating culturally competent clinicians coming out of these schools of social work. And then the third big layer that's going to be long-term is because we're partnering with these expert research institutions, we're going to be researching and measuring what works and what doesn't work and sharing that information with the clinical community so that even clinicians that we don't interact with, say through Baylor and UT, even clinicians across the country will be able to use this research to have a more informed practice.
Right. Yeah, that's the amazing thing about the potential reach of this program. And it's, even though it's in its pilot stage, we have really big expectations and hopes for what we can do. Right now, I know it's only restricted to a certain area in Texas, but I know a lot of you have contacted us wanting to have these programs across the country, and it's our goal to do that. So we're going to keep working hard, and with your support, we'll get there. We'll make it happen. So we have an application period open until this Friday for Texas military veteran and first responder couples. Mm-hmm. So if you're in Texas and you want to apply, we're going to go ahead and put the link up. I think it might already be there in the mm-hmm. comments. If you apply and you get accepted to the new program, what would a couple expect to see as far as commitment, curriculum, length of time, participation?
So it's going to be an amazing program. I have to say, like, the planning meetings with our partners at UT and at Baylor have been amazing. I love what I'm learning because we've got some legitimate experts in the room every single time when we meet. And we're going to start with a retreat weekend, which is going to be a combination of sort of laying the foundation for some new skills. It'll also be a little fun and pampering. We want people to go away with a vision for what their family life and their marriage can be. And we want them to have something positive and powerful to work towards. So we hope that people will be welcome to the CKFF family and get to know our university partners on that weekend and set a vision for drawing a line in the sand for what they want for their family and their marriage. And after that orientation weekend, there's going to be a 6-month follow-on curriculum that's going to be mostly web-based because, we want to meet you where you are. We understand that these service marriages are incredibly challenging schedule-wise. So we've worked with our partners, and that's part of being culturally competent, is to understand that not everyone can meet on Tuesdays at 7 o'clock. So we've got to develop this coaching and deliver it in a way that works for these service marriages. And we're going to, of course, have some typical things like communication skills and tactics and de-escalating conflict and negotiating. How do you negotiate a service life so that everybody is getting some of what they need. There might be a sexy month where we're talking about intimacy. We'll have an expert in that. And, there's going to be fun assignments, and there will probably be conversations where you've got to dig deep too. But we'll always be working to help you dig deep, moving towards a goal of just a life that's thriving and joyful and positive, and that your marriage can feel like you thought it would when you got married, that you can remember that sense of hope and connectedness. And then the last phase is it's going to be a capstone celebration where we bring everyone back together. We get to celebrate the work that's been done, and you may transition to some additional support and a continuing care plan for your family. You're going to be in charge of that, but you're going to have new resources, new relationships, and a new support network to make it happen. And so
that's awesome.
Yeah, 3 phases, and it's going to be great.
So for those of you that are just tuning in, we're talking a little bit tonight about how your support is changing the world for military and first responder couples across the nation. I'm Ashley Ribando, Marketing and Communications Director, and this is my teammate, Michelle Buhr, Program Developer. She's been with Chris Kyle Frog Foundation since day one. So we're thankful that she's here, and we appreciate her vision and what it's bringing to those we serve. So, Michelle, as a military spouse, you've moved 9 times.
Yeah.
So you've probably seen some pretty interesting things and been to some pretty interesting places. What are a couple that stick out?
Well, I'm a Southern girl. I'm originally from Savannah, Georgia. So Alaska was a challenge, and it taught me a lot about being adaptable, taught me a lot about cold weather gear, learned how to make moose burgers. So Alaska was awesome. I loved living in Connecticut, beautiful New England. I think what I would say about things I've learned from being a military spouse is I've learned how to be resilient and adaptable. I've learned how to ask for help. And I've really been connected to how beautiful this country is. I've still got to get to North Dakota, New Hampshire, and Nebraska.
That's it?
Yeah. Well, North Dakota, New Hampshire, Nebraska, Utah? That might be it. But this is a beautiful country, and there are all these families out there and that are they're the front line in securing our democracy and our safety. And Taya Kyle has really had a vision for wanting to support these families, and she's given us the freedom to connect with the best experts in the country to bring something new and unique to the community.
So we're just coming up on our 3rd anniversary. That will be Veterans Day. Yay! We'll have a fun celebration as we get closer to that day. But where do you see MYM going next, and how can you explain how we got to MYM from an organization that is so young?
Well, it was definitely a big leap. It's a big idea. We knew that if we partnered with schools of social work and people that are very experienced in creating curriculum, delivering it, creating research studies, and measuring outcomes, we knew that we had a great chance of doing something important and big and on a scale that it would be very difficult for a young organization to do. And so, to be honest, we had to take a deep breath and sort of take a big leap of faith. There were some signature donors that helped us do that. The Moody Foundation out of Galveston was they did seed funding for this project. So we talked to them about it. We talked to them about the vision, and they gave us a generous grant to seed this. And that was a huge start. The folks at Tracking Point in late 2015 hosted a huge fundraiser that sort of laid the foundation for being ambitious with programming in 2016 as we were planning all of this. And as we even thought about who would be a great partner, say, in a webinar about money health and money financial issues and how to talk about money. And we talked to the folks at USAA who already have a sterling program for delivering expert education. And so we talked to these signature partners to say, hey, will you help us take this big leap of faith so that we can invest big in these university partners? We made large grants, Chris Kyle birthday grants and holiday grants, to these partners to launch the program and fund it at the university. But of course, we're looking long term. So this is something that we'll continue to come back to. We'll continue to ask for support from all of you that have given support from $5 to $25 have made a difference here. So thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
That has been amazing. But long term, of course, we're so excited about it. But I have to say, it's just strikes a little blow to my heart when someone from Oklahoma or California or Florida says, I really want to go to NYM. If I drive and get myself there, can I be a part of it? And we're in the pilot launch phase, so we are focused on excelling in the pilot launch in Texas. But of course, we're already thinking about how do we move to NYM year 2 and grow it beyond Texas. And of course, we want to be able to take that national and be able to respond to those folks. But if you are in Texas, I mean, if you are in Florida or California or anywhere else in the country and you're wanting to get into this now, I just really encourage you to go to the Chris Kyle Frog Foundation website and look at our revitalization retreats, because they're amazing. It'll introduce you to the family. You're going to be pampered. You're going to get a weekend's break from the stressors of a service life. And it's a great starting step.
So we have a couple questions. When is the deadline to apply, and does it cost anything?
Oh, Sam, that's an awesome question. The deadline is Friday, and it does not cost anything to apply. For those applicants that are accepted into the program, there is a reservation fee. And the reason that is you'll see this often in military nonprofit programs, is we have to make sure that when you reserve a spot that, we have not a lot of spots. So when we have a spot reserved, we need to make sure everybody's got skin in the game. But that reservation fee will be refunded at the end of the capstone celebration. So at the end of the day, the entire accommodations, meals, curriculum, materials, it's at no cost to the participants.
Yeah. So I mean, that's fantastic. And we just posted up the link for revitalization retreats. So if you're not a service family, but you know a service family, or maybe you are a service family, but know a service family that could really use that time to reconnect after a tough deployment or a tough situation on the job as a first responder, definitely go and fill out the nomination form. Oh, how much is the fee? Sorry, I just thought of the question. How much is the reservation fee for NYM?
The reservation fee is going to be $79. And again, it's refundable at the end of the course. It's a reservation fee.
Yeah.
It just holds your spot and confirms your attendance.
So our vision as Chris Kyle Frog Foundation is a community of thriving and connected military, veteran, and first responder couples. Michelle, how do you think NYM is really going to get us there?
So again, it's all about that ripple effect. I mean, we're going to directly serve a number of couples, but we already know we can never serve enough couples. And even though we partner with other nonprofits, working all together, we're never going to be able to serve enough couples. And so having that ripple effect of having empowered clinicians out there, but also as we go through this, we're going to learn so much in this pilot phase, because we're going to have these webinars, and big picture, big vision, we'd love to be able to share these webinars just broadly on our website, so that if you're a couple that you're not going to do NYM, or maybe you're not ready for a revitalization retreat, but you want to learn about how to de-escalate conflict. Long term, our goal is that one of the foremost experts in the country is going to have a webinar that speaks to you, because it's going to talk about your life. There are some general principles about de-escalating conflict, but it's even more stressful in a service marriage environment. And it's going to be speaking directly to you, culturally competent, and long term, we want this available for everyone, and reminding everyone that when you got married, there was this great hope and this vision and this excitement and this connectedness. And it may be a winding pathway, but there is a way back to that feeling.
So we've got somebody from Nashville. I think last week we had a couple of international viewers. So we really appreciate you guys tuning in and just learning about our work to serve those who serve us. Our nation's heroes, the people who come to our aid on our worst day, our first responders. They really deserve to have a happy family, a great home life, a wonderful marriage. And so we're working really hard to make sure that that happens. Somebody from Nashville, but really from Ireland. Very cool. Very cool. Well, thank you for tuning in. Does anybody have any questions? We'll take a couple of questions.
I have one quick thing I want to share, though. I just want to share a perspective, and I know that everyone on our team shares this perspective. I know that Taya shares this perspective. We're passionate about this. The idea of strong marriages isn't just about the marriage. It is about the entire family, and it is about the first responder, the military member, and the veteran. If someone's dealing with a health challenge, TBI, post-traumatic stress, or other issues, they are going to have better health outcomes if they have a strong support network, including a strong marriage, a supportive partner, particularly for some of our veterans who are dealing with TBI and other issues. If they have that strong, connected spouse to support them in working their way through the healthcare system, they're going to have better healthcare outcomes. It's the difference maker in so many families. And so we really see this as it's not just it's not just a marriage issue. It's about an entire family's wellness. It's about supporting that first responder,
Absolutely.
letting them thrive in the challenge of what they've got to do on the street, because they've got that safe place to fall when they come home. So we're passionate about the fact that we see, I talked about those ripple effects earlier, but within the family, there's huge ripple effects if you can get this part of it right.
So we have a question. Is this for newlyweds, or do you have to be married for a certain amount of time?
You don't have to be married for a certain amount of time. We are looking for, in the pilot launch, we're looking for folks that they're into their marriage. But I think one of the things that we love about the idea of getting folks that are newer in their marriage is we may be able to help you set the stage for managing the challenges of a service life for the duration of your marriage. I mean, I'm kind of an old married lady at 18 years, and I have to say, I have learned so much. I've learned so much through doing this work, but I had to learn it a little painfully. So the idea that you could have this support network, mm-hmm. that you could have the best experts in the country support you and give you tools that will empower you to take charge of your family early in your marriage. I love that. I love that. So apply. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, definitely. It doesn't hurt to apply. It doesn't cost anything to apply. Just to further what Michelle was saying, we hear a lot that veterans, first responders, if they need help, they're more likely to talk to a peer, and a peer might be the catalyst for change for them. So, we're working with their peers. So if our couples, they have a great experience, we can connect them. They can share those resources and tools with their friends and their connections. So, again, a ripple effect, just strengthening families across the country.
I think in this community, we're really used to getting it done, right? So I think it's hard to ask for help, and we don't want it to feel that way for this. We want it to feel like this is about you being empowered, taking charge of your marriage and your family. If you needed to work out, you might find a trainer or join a gym or buy some weights. If you want to work out on work your marriage out, these are tools. And, this is going to be a support system. But what's nice about it, I know sometimes in a unit environment, it's really hard to be vulnerable and to say we're struggling. But struggling in this would be normal, right? It's not a normal family situation. It's not a normal sort of lifestyle. So struggling is normal. But it's really hard to be vulnerable and say, I'm having a hard time coping with the fourth deployment, or I'm having a hard time coping with my spouse who's undercover. I don't even recognize my spouse anymore. So it's sometimes hard to do that in that unit. But when you're with a network or a cohort of folks who maybe aren't in your exact same unit, but they get your lifestyle, you got that shorthand down, and you're all saying, hey, we're working on this, right? We're human and we're working on it. We've just seen that be incredibly powerful. And so, I just think if you're looking for something that's going to transform your family, I just really encourage you to take a chance.
And so if there's one key word that you think of, one word that describes MYM, what would that be?
I'd say transformational. I mean, I think I've said transform a couple
I know,
of times. I'm sorry.
I kind of thought you might say that.
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
But yeah, I mean, and there's a couple questions coming in about MYM available in our area and or retreats. You want to kind of just give, there might be some people joining us kind of right now. So just give them the overview about what MYM looks like right now geographically and versus our revitalization retreats.
So right now, because we're in the pilot launch and we're focused very much on the areas around Austin and also around Waco. And so, that is so hard for us to do because we would love to open it up to the folks that have reached out from other areas. But we're so committed to the idea that we think long term, we think that programming is launched best by doing a pilot, getting it down, making sure that that it does what we think it's going to do, making adjustments, and then launching bigger. And so this pilot launch is focused on Texas. We're going to be looking, though, for some ways as we develop MYM where perhaps even in the pilot launch, we can go ahead and share some of those webinars with you, as long as y'all are willing to say we understand it's in beta mode, it's in test mode. So if you can let us know in the comments section or follow up and let us know, even if you're not in Texas, would you be interested in seeing those webinars? Would you be interested in signing up for an online curriculum content? And also, as we're in pilot launch and development, we really want to know, what is it that, as we're talking about this and sharing, what is it that we haven't shared or said or talked about that you think we need to know, that we need to add? I know that our partners are on watching tonight.
I know, I see them.
Yeah. And so we're all paying attention. We're listening. And it's our goal to plan as thoughtfully and strategically as we can. And so you let us know. We've also brought, we've got a really expert team, not only from UT and Baylor, but also, as we said, Corey Weathers, who is a curriculum expert, a licensed professional counselor. She also happened to be the Military Spouse of the Year in 2015. She's a best-selling author. She's guiding this team. Dr. Bart Beekner is on our board. He's a retired 06 and has a PhD in human development. And his guidance has been instrumental in this. Just really so wonderful. Amanda Anderson, she's our CKFF programming director. She's a military spouse. She's worked at other national nonprofits, so her voice of experience is helping us.
We'll get her on here one time.
Yeah, we need you. We've got a law enforcement expert who is coming in to share information about that, because you all know, I mean, as a military spouse, I've been paying attention to research on military communities, but goodness knows our first responder families are underserved. There's not enough research and knowledge on what they need. And that's a conversation we really want to push forward in a powerful way. So let us know.
Absolutely. And for those of you that maybe don't geographically qualify for MYM, please go to our website, nominate yourself or a couple that you know for a vitalization retreat. It's a weekend away to get away from the stress of life, the stress of service. We have culturally competent clinical support that will get you through that to make sure that connection lasts. It's
awesome though, y'all.
It's great.
Like fabulous folks like Destin, Florida, 30A, I think San Diego, wine country. Like, I mean, honestly, it's amazing.
Yeah. I mean, we can't thank our couples enough for, the way they make us feel when we see them just transform and change. So, you guys keep us going. Everybody that's here tonight supporting us, everybody that is like donating, every $5 or $10 makes a difference for a military or first responder couple somewhere. So we appreciate you. I think, do we have any more questions? Let's see.
Well, you can still leave questions in the comments later. And again, it doesn't have to be a question. Give us feedback. We'll take it in. We'll be scouring over it, and we'll be incorporating the feedback. We're going to do the best that we can in this pilot launch. We're going to get feedback after we do it. We're going to get feedback through it. And so we're really thrilled with the couples who have already applied. We're so appreciative that you have been brave and that you've been empowered to take charge of your own family. And, we commit to you that it's going to be amazing. It's going to be great.
Yep. And if you feel called and your heart is, wants to support our mission, you can always just donate at our website. Even, like you said, a $5 or $10 donation really makes a great difference. So our website's right there, KisCalFrogFoundation.org. Like Michelle said, leave comments. We'll track them. We'll follow up with you. I think we have some links posted already. So just
hi, Dr. Myers. So good to see you. He's one of our fabulous experts, faculty at Baylor's. Awesome. So,
all right. Well, I think we're going to wrap it up. Thank you, Michelle. Thank you, Michelle. Thank you, everybody who's tuned in. This will be up on our Facebook page a little bit later, so feel free to share it with a couple that you might know, or somebody that's really passionate about veteran and first responder causes. We want the world to know that we're working for them. So thank you so much. Have a great night.
Good night, y'all. Bye.